Hey, yeah, this is going to be commentary for chapter 38 of my book, Multidimensional, which you can find on Kindle or listen to for free as an audiobook in Google Play. And links are in the description. So chapter 38 is called Digital Archetypes. So we have this concept of ourselves, which is the tabula rasa concept, which basically means that we emerge in this world a blank slate, innocent if you want, and then we develop our personality and our everything about us as we grow up, something like that. I'm not talking about the actual philosophy, but the idea is that it's a physicalist idea that everything we are is a product of our experiences. And that's in some ways true. Like you would never know what it feels like, let's say, to love until you love someone. You'll never know how it feels like to be betrayed until you've been betrayed or you betrayed someone. You will never know how it feels to be in pain before you are in pain. And that's fine. But it's not the case that how it feels like to be to love, how it feels like to be betrayed or to betray, how it feels like to be in pain or in pleasure, that you're not actually inventing it. Had it been the case that you were inventing it, then it would be really hard to explain how come so many artists and poets and religions, how well they have been able to discuss these topics in such an accurate way, such a compelling way. It definitely is the case that, let's say, ancient poets felt exactly as you feel. And if it's, let's say, the first time you're in love and you read a sonnet from like 500, 1,000, 2,000 years ago, and it feels like they're describing the exact same emotion, exact same experiential movement. Now, the theory says that that's because it's the exact same experiential movement. They are describing the same thing. Yes, there's different bodies and a different temporal wakeful distance between you and said poet, but it's the same exact experiential movement of the exact same element, the dimension of experience. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important when you're thinking about artificial intelligence or trying to mimic our behaviors, or in the context of where the book is at the moment, like following the previous chapter in the case of virtual sentience. We're not going to be able to, it's not the model of human, of what it is to be human isn't a model where the behaviors and the atoms of whatever is experiential or virtually experiential is being invented as we go, as we grow, as the artificial intelligence grows. Rather, it is that there is a semantic vocabulary, a vocabulary of experiential movements which we as humans, we tap into as we grow, and the same would apply also to artificial intelligence or virtual sentience or anything that tries to mimic this. Now, in artificial intelligence, we already do that. We train artificial intelligence on many human examples, or animal examples, or real life examples, however you want to call it. And from that, these innate experiential movements, these innate patterns, are being embedded into artificial intelligence unintentionally. Or maybe it is intentional. Like I'm not exactly sure what they do in our state-of-the-art artificial intelligence these days, but it is plausible that they are actually encoding this shared semantic context that we have into artificial intelligence. And now, for an observer, this might look like they're cheating, like they're taking something that isn't, like instead of having the artificial intelligence, having these experiential movements or these understandings emerge, these patterns emerge from the artificial intelligence itself, that it is being encoded via training data. That's cheating. That's not the tabula rasa model. But according to this theory, there is no tabula rasa model. We come with all these experiential movements built in, and the same should apply also to artificial intelligence, virtual sentience. So now, how would you describe this? How would you define this collection of patterns? Well, in the theory, I call it archetypes. You see that according to the theory, there is an equivalence between the idea of like semantics, like what you want, what you feel, and stories. These are all interchangeable. So every desire has a story manifestation, and every sensation has a story manifestation. And if you have a repository of stories, such as in this case Carl Jung's archetypes, then you have a vocabulary of what it is to be experiential. Now, why is this important? It's important because once you understand that this distinction between the experiential and the bodily, between the brain, between the mechanical, the physical, and the experiential, which is causally independent from that, then you understand that you cannot expect whatever is experiential to emerge through necessarily from the condition. It has to be imposed. There has to be like some kind of like a breach of the rationale of the physical, of the wakeful, of the computable. And now, you need something that is non-algorithmic. And if you are to actually virtualize sentience, so artificial intelligence doesn't necessarily need that, but if you are actually to virtualize this thing that we are, or to try to model that, then you have to have something that is non-algorithmic, that is driving the decision making. But non-algorithmic could sound like random, but we are not random. Like our behaviors are not random. Like we all do the same kind of stuff. We all want the same kind of stuff, and that doesn't imply that the body determines everything for us. It just implies that there's some kind of patterns or archetypes that drive our desires. Not that they determine our desires. Like we can, let's say that you have like the archetype of the hero and the archetype of the trickster, and you can choose to be one or the other. But both are compelling. And if you're going to virtualize what it is to be us, to create a model, an actual model of what it means, then you have to have this repository of virtualized experiential movements. And this chapter explores that. It shows how to implement that component, without which you're not creating virtual sentience. You're just creating artificial intelligence, if anything. You might also just create something that does nothing, virtualizes nothing, and just pointless.